Hello and welcome to LearnSo. This time I will introduce you how to programming to make a Qbot follow the object and keep the distance at 15 centimeters. So let's transfer to Arduino mode. Now we can drag this module to middle section. Because in this episode we also need to use ultrasonic module to measure the distance. So now we can get the module from the list. And let's create a new variable to save the distance. We can name it as distance. And drag the slider below the WeMake project. Now we have already set the distance as the distance measured by ultrasonic sensor. So we can consider different situations. If the distance is less than 15 centimeters, we can make our Qbot move backwards to increase the distance from obstacle and keep the distance at 15 centimeters. But if the distance is greater than 15 centimeters, we can make a Qbot move forward to shorten the distance from obstacle. Now let's get started. And we can add this judgment condition module. If the distance is less than 15 centimeters, then Qbot will move backwards. But because our ultrasonic sensor has a measurement range, in other words, if the distance exceeds the maximum distance that our ultrasonic sensor can detect, and the distance will become 0. So we can set a limitation for this judgment condition. And that is, if the distance is greater than 0 centimeters but smaller than 15 centimeters, and use this AND module to connect these two judgment conditions. Now we can find the speed of motor module and set the speed to negative speed. And this is the first situation. Let's consider other situation. If the distance is greater than 15 centimeters and the distance is less than 40 centimeters, then Qbot needs to move forward to shorten the distance from obstacle. So the speed should be positive value, just like this. And the other situation is very easy, and that is when distance is greater than 40 centimeters, or the distance is 15 centimeters, or the distance is 0 centimeters, and we can make Qbot stop running. So we can change the speed to 0. And at the end, we need to loop run this project, so add repeat forever module, just like this. It seems like this project has been finished, but if you look at it carefully, there's a problem with it. And let's take this situation as an example. You can say Qbot will move backwards in this situation at a fixed speed. In other words, no matter the distance from the obstacle is greater, maybe the distance is smaller, Qbot will move backwards at a fixed speed. So it is a little unintelligent. Maybe we can do a little change to improve the situation. For example, if the distance from obstacle is smaller, then Qbot needs to move backwards at a faster speed to increase the distance. But if the distance from the obstacle is greater, maybe the distance is 14 centimeters, then Qbot only needs to move slow to reach the 15 centimeter distance. And now we need to use subtraction module. If distance minus 15, and that is our target distance, if we put the module at this position, you can say, for example, the distance is 1 centimeters, then 1 centimeters minus 15 centimeters, and that is minus 14 centimeters, and the speed is minus 14. But you can say the distance from obstacle is so smaller. In other words, Qbot need to move backwards at a faster speed. But minus 14 is so slow, so we can change the speed and use this multifunctional module. We can set the value as 7. Of course, the value can be adjusted according to realistic situation. And now we can drag the slider to this position. For example, if the distance is 1 and 1 minus 15 is minus 14. Minus 14 multiplied by 7 is minus 98. So the distance from the obstacle is so small, and Qbot will move backwards at a faster speed. And if the distance is 14 centimeters, then 14 centimeters minus 15, and that is minus 1. So Qbot can move at a very slow speed. And you can see the minus 1 multiplied by 7 is minus 7. So the speed is minus 7. In other words, the Qbot will move backwards at a slow speed. So we can use this module to achieve the target, to make Qbot move very intelligent. When the distance from the obstacle is smaller, then Qbot will move backwards faster. If the distance from obstacle is greater, then Qbot will move backward at a slow speed. Let's duplicate this module to this position. And we finish this project, so we can save this project to Qbot. Name it as follow the object and keep at a fixed distance. And see you next time.